So today we are going to move and meditate, and our focus is going to be on the Anahata, or the heart chakra, located right here. The props we'll use today are either one or two blocks if you have blocks, or you can use books instead, or a bolster possibly might work. And I'm going to use a blanket folded up for our initial seated meditation. So let's take ourselves a comfortable seat, whether that means sitting on your heels in Virasana or on your sits bones and then crossing at your shins and sitting up nice and tall here. For now, we'll rest our hands just on our knees or on our thighs, however we're sitting. And we'll take a moment to close the eyes, settle the seat here, find this firm connection with the prop beneath you, the earth beneath you, and feel all those parts of yourselves that are connecting to the ground. And growing up and out of this, feeling your spine strong like the trunk of a tree. And as you find the rooting, can you also feel the lift from above, beyond the crown of the head, pulling you up, lengthening your spine, elongating your whole body, feeling that the sides of the waist are long, the back of the neck is long, the chin can slightly tuck in, the eyes are soft, the forehead is soft, and the gaze is soft, internal. The shoulders are drawing away from your ears, the shoulder blades nestling into the back. And we're just focusing all of our awareness right to the center of our chest. So beneath this is the heart. But for now, we focus just at the middle of the chest. Take your awareness here. Feel any sensation you feel. And then start to notice your breath. The Anahata, or heart chakra, is associated with the element of air. So for a moment now, just feeling the air around you, whether there's a breeze on your skin, or you're feeling the entry through the nostrils and the exit through the nostrils. We're just noticing air, noticing breath. Can we observe it deeply for its pace? So what is the length of your inhale? You can count it. And what is the length of your exhale? Also counting. Are they even? If not, can we strive for a more even inhale and exhale? And what is the texture of the breath? Just noticing with kindness, whether it's choppy or frenetic or smooth. And then what is the temperature of our inhale, of the air caressing the nostrils as it comes in, and as it exits, you might find that it's warmer on the exhalation. So just investigating and being with the breath. Being with this element of lightness, and knowing that we too can find this sense of easy going, kind of peaceful, light energy within ourselves. We can connect with this anytime we want and start to notice how we feel more open, we feel more receptive, we feel more perceptive, more compassionate. There's more acceptance overall. We're accepting of others, accepting of ourselves, accepting of situations that arise. And we start to learn to, instead of react, we learn to respond with patience. Back to this breath, to this air that keeps us alive. And then whenever you're ready, you can slowly start to bring your palms to the center of your heart. Feel your fingertips touching each and every one of the finger pads, melting against the opposite finger pad. Your palms pressing together. Your hands feeling your hands. And take a big breath in here, your heart rising. Exhale, root yourself down into your seat. And then start to rub your palms together. I still haven't opened my eyes, but you can if you like. And take a softer gaze forward. And start to create lots of heat and friction here between your palms and your fingertips. When you feel that there's a significant amount of heat there, then slowly start to separate the palms a few inches apart and feel into this magnetism, this vibration, this energy pulsing between separated fingertips and palms. All awareness right at this space between your hands. Breathe here. Feel the sensations between the fingertips. And then slowly bring the palms back together. Fingertips touch. Heels, palms of the hands touch. And draw your thumbs in towards center. And then slowly start to open the eyes. And we'll just do a hand meditation, or it's very simple. We're just linking our breath. So we'll inhale and start to pass the thumbs. So past the throat, the third eye, and the crown of the head, and lifting, stretching through both sides of the waist equally, and then fanning the palms open. And then backs of the hands will touch, and you'll start to draw the arms to about shoulder height here. And then bend the elbows, taking the backs of the hands kind of under the chin. And then sweep the arms forward, open the palms up again. And then draw all of this positive energy back in towards the center of the heart. And we'll inhale. You can follow the gaze to the thumbs. Inhale, reach and lengthen your arms up. Separate the palms so that just the thumbs are touching right now. And then we'll take the backs of the hands together. Draw your arms forward and down to the height of your shoulders. Reach your arms forward. Backs of the hands touch here. And then start to bend the elbows here. So they're just about below the chin, and then sweep them forward. Look in towards your palms. Radiate all of this beautiful light outwards, and then draw it back in towards yourself again. Last time, inhale. Arms up, eyes to your thumbs. Separate your palms, still looking at your thumbs, softly gazing there as the backs of the hands touch. Lower the arms, and then start to draw the wrists in towards you, opening up. Palms outstretched, and then draw this back in to the center of your heart, and close your eyes. Breathe here. So just a simple breathing and hand meditation, And you can already feel some shifts in energy. Surprisingly, the heart rate is up just from this one simple exercise. So we're starting to move energy around slowly. Whenever you're ready, you can start to cross your shins. You're going to extend your arms forward so your shins are crossed here and draw them close, close, close into the body. So your knees are coming in close, but you're radiating and opening your heart wide here. And then see if you can just touch your left toes down and take your right shin so that it's parallel to the ceiling. So kind of like in a half boat. And from your half boat here, you're going to see if you can join left toes so you're in a full boat. I'm going to peek around to look at you. Good. And then right toes come down, half boat. And then both feet up. And then left toes touch down, half. And just go side to side. If you would like, you can start to see what it would feel like to extend one leg, maybe both. And then bend. Woo! Catch yourself. Just going side to side a few more times. When you've had enough, you can place the soles of the feet down and just take the arms over the knees, round the upper spine, fold into yourself. Breathe here. And then unwinding, reaching your arms out. Cross your left shin over your right this time. Hug your knees in as much as you can and start to rock your weight forward. See if you can come into a tabletop. So I'm going to go back to my mat here in a tabletop. And I'm just going to place my blanket to pad up here for the knees. I have blocks at the upper corner of my mat. And I'm going to find a tabletop position. And my shoulders are just above my wrists. And my hips are above my knees. And from here I might just shake my hips a little side to side. Maybe I look over my shoulder. Maybe I find a bit of circling first. So just getting comfortable in this quadruped position. And then eventually I'm going to find center here. Find a neutral spine. So lots of length from the crown of my head to my tailbone. And then I'm going to slowly start to sink my belly down. Lift my tailbone up. Lift my head and my neck. Finding my cow pose here. Big breath in and then pushing into the earth. Feeling my upper back find a rounded shape. A nice curve here as my chin draws in and my tailbone draw in towards my belly button. My head and my neck just hang freely here. And then I reverse it again. Just finding joy in this spinal movement. Feeling stagnation in the spine start to kind of dissipate. And then finding your own speed. So maybe you're inhaling and sharp exhale. Or you're taking a slower approach and just really feeling the articulation of all the vertebra as you flex and round the spine. Good. And we'll do one more each direction. If you haven't already tried with the flipping of the palms, you can do that now just to get a different angle in here, or maybe even taking your hands to 45 degrees. Just try maybe one or two more, getting a stretch in for the wrists. And then when you're ready, coming back towards your heels into a child's pose. And we're going to use our blocks, or hopefully maybe you have some books if you don't have blocks. But we'll rest in this child's pose for a few breaths. And we'll pay specific attention to allowing the seat to rest towards the heels and lengthening the arms forward. So finding as much length as we can from the tail to the crown. Reaching our fingers forward if we can. Allowing the head to rest either on a block, a blanket, or the mat itself. And then we draw all awareness to the space between our shoulder blades. And we breathe deeply right into this spot. Maybe imagining it with a green, circular, kind of glowing energy there. And it's radiating and expanding as you inhale. And then as you exhale, the color deepens and it shrinks into itself. Yeah? And so this is just kind of a way to wrap our minds around what's happening in the back body. We can't see it, but maybe we can feel it and really start to pay attention to it. Good. So whenever you're ready, start to walk your hands to the top right corner of the mat. We are going to use our blocks just in a few moments, but for now we'll take a side stretch. So again, paying close attention to that lifted left seat as we're walking our hands over to the right side. And we're placing our left palm over our right. Drop the left sitting bone as you reach and expand through the whole left side of the body, opening the side ribs and lungs, filling them with breath. The heart chakra is not just associated with the center of the chest, but with the organs around it here, so with our lungs as well. And if we can visualize the spreading, the expanding between all of your ribs, making space here. And then walk hands back through center. Pause for a moment here. Realign. Find symmetry in both sides. And then walk your hands to the top left corner of your mat. Reaching your right arm way over. Reach your right fingertips way further. And place your right palm on top of your left. Allowing the right sits bone to be heavy as you reach right out of your seat. Lengthen and expand the whole right side of your body. And we'll take a few more breaths here and then walk back to center. Good. And now we're going to use our blocks, and you might use your blankets. You might not right now. I won't be using mine, but I'll demonstrate after I show the initial pose. I'm just going to move back here so that you can see better. So my blocks are on the second height, and if you want to change them, sorry, they're not on the second height, they're on the first height. If you wanted to change to the second height at some point, you can do that as well. So I'm taking my blocks here. I'm going to move my blanket a little further back so that my knees are still on the blanket, and then I'm going to come down with my hands on the blocks and then see how it might feel to take one elbow and then another elbow on the blocks and cross. Maybe I take my head between the blocks, palms together, and then heels of the hands to the nape of my neck, or my thumbs to the nape of my neck, and I'm melting my heart towards my mat. My seat is heavy to my heels as much as can be. My chest is really softening and melting towards the mat. My elbows are bent. I feel the shoulder blades gathering here, but there's a nice amount of space in the underarms. I should feel an opening here. And we're breathing and holding this pose. We're not holding our breath. We're feeling the breath move freely through the whole body. And if you did want a little bit more, you could see what it would be like to put your blocks on the second height, on the medium height here. And see what it would be like to take the elbows here. And if the elbows are hurting, you can always cover this with a blanket. Cover your blocks with a blanket to make it a little softer. And the same thing. Your heart melts, the crown of the head, or the forehead, comes towards the earth. Notice my thumbs are at the nape of my neck, and I'm just feeling a massive opening under the arms, through the heart. There's a stretching, a pulling here. Feeling these tissues getting a nice amount of stretch. And I'm just breathing here. Feel your heart open. Imagine again as you breathe, just behind your shoulder blades. Feeling this movement, this subtle but deep energy moving. So a few more breaths here in Anahatasana. This is our melting heart pose. So we'll keep softening that space between your shoulder blades and your chest towards the floor, and keep your awareness of the center of the heart, and that's at the back of the body too. And then whenever you're ready, slowly, slowly, slowly start to make your way out of this shape. So maybe you're coming on up using your hands on the blocks, and you're coming to sit just towards your heels. And from here, let's take our finger pads just behind us. Yeah. And we'll lift our seat and just send our tailbone forward towards the knee hinge or towards the front of the mat. We'll open the heart, lift it to the sky here. Maybe the gaze comes up too. Your head doesn't have to go back. I'm just getting a stretch for the front of my throat as well here. But if it's uncomfortable for your neck, just keep your face up. And I keep lifting my chest forward, up, and back. So it's a lift right from here, from between the shoulders, from the upper back. And then if I wanted to, I could also try to lift my shins, get a stretch for the top of my feet, or I could lift my seat even higher, lift my heart higher, send my tailbone towards the knee hinge, and then leave my seat back to my heels and start to come upright. And I'm going to take my hands to my knees, round my upper back, feel like I'm pulling, drawing up as I round my upper spine and my chin comes towards my chest. And I'll breathe here for a few breaths. Good, and then slowly make my way back up to standing here. And we're going to take another meditation, another little sit, very short sit. This one is going to be our mantra meditation. We've done one every week so far. And this week we have our mantra for the Anahata chakra is Yam. 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 So we'll sit, and if we want to, we can take the mudra associated, the hand mudra associated. I'm just going to switch the cross of my legs. If I'm accustomed to always crossing one leg forward, I'm going to try to kind of switch my habits sometimes, just kind of rewire things so that it's not always the preferential side. So anyway, that's just a little side note here. But our hand mudra that we're going to take is a lotus mudra. It's a pretty beautiful one. So the heels of our hands and our pinky fingers and our thumbs are going to join, and the rest of our fingers, the other 6 fingers in between, are making the shape of kind of a lotus flower. And we'll place that shape near our hearts, and we'll close our eyes here, and we'll start to connect to breath again. Long spine, soft, smooth breath. Soft facial features, maybe even turning up the corners of the mouth, allowing the chin to draw in towards the chest as the chest lifts and expands and radiates outwards. And then when you're ready, just either aloud or to yourself, the mantra, the bija mantra is Yam. Yam. And if you would like to, you can also hold it longer, like Yam. Feel that vibration through the throat, the lips. Inhale, exhale. Yam. You can repeat this to yourself over and over. So let's say 7 times and 3 rounds, so it would be 21 times total. Yum. It can be silent or aloud. Just seal this mantra on your lips, on your breath. We're moving past past the feeling of being stuck, past the feeling of being hurt. We're moving to a place of unstuckness, to freedom. Yum. Just returning to this mantra. Anytime our mind runs away from us, we go back to breath, back to mantra. One syllable. Yum. And whenever you're ready, just join the palms so that all the fingertips touch now. Open the eyes and release the hands to your lap. Take a breath here, just a simple breath. Maybe give your body a little shake, a little sway, inviting a little bit of movement back in, maybe shrugging the shoulders, inhale, and exhale, roll them down the back, and then reverse that, inhale, shrug them, and then roll them forward. Roll them back, exhale, inhale, and we'll take the neck, right ear to right shoulder, nice stretch through the left side of your neck. You might even use your right hand. Gentle tugging of the skull. Forward. Right fingertips can come down. Left fingertips can come down. Feel that stretch. One more breath. And then stack the head again. This time, left ear to left shoulder. Maybe your left hand comes around, gentle pressure applied to the skull. Smooth breath into the neck. One more full breath here, left fingertips touch down. Lengthen your spine, and then back to center. You're going to come off onto your knees again. And from our knees, we'll move into another flow. And then we'll do another meditation and another kind of short flow. So taking here our tabletop position. We'll round our upper spine, find that cat pose. We'll tuck our toes under here. Good. And then we'll slowly hover our knees. And slowly, slowly, slowly start to lift our hips, keeping that hinge at the hips. The knees don't have to extend fully. You can extend one leg and then bend and extend the opposite leg. Yeah? You can find a bit of a sway in your dog here. You can bend your knees, lift your hips even higher, and then extend. Reach the heels down. Feel like the outer edges of your feet are spreading to the corners of your mat. Big breath in and big breath out. Slowly start to wave yourself forward. Find your plank pose. Reach your heels back. Feel like you're drawing your hands energetically to the center of your mat. Hold yourself up here. Strong, strong, strong. And then lift your hips up and back to downward dog. Try that twice more. Wave yourself forward. Find your plank. Hold and breathe here for 4 counts. That's 2. 1. And then lift your hips up and back. Downward dog, 4 counts. 3. 2. And 1. Wave yourself forward. Last time. Hold your plank strong here. And then lower your knees down. And start to sink your hips, but keep lifting your chest. Sink your hips, but lift your chest. Sink your hips, lift your chest. Don't look sideways. Look forward. And just allow the front of the body to open. Lengthen the tailbone towards your heels. Lift your heart. Good. And then send your hips back to child's pose with your toes tucked under. Start to round forward. Come into a plank pose right away. Lift your hips, downward facing dog. Good. Lift your right leg here. Keep your hips as level as you can, and then draw your knee in towards your nose. Round your upper spine. Knee towards your nose. Knee towards your nose. Knee towards your nose. Good. Extend the leg back again. Come forward, round, knee towards the nose. This time, can you use this to step through and find your back knee down on your blanket or your mat? Maybe you walk your foot a little bit more forward. And you're sending your hips forward here, finding a little bit of a bounce. Maybe eventually the hands interlace just on your knee. Your back toes can tuck or they can stay untucked here. And your arms are going to sweep up. Good. And you'll link your thumbs here, reach out of the sides of the waist, and just take a little side bend over to the right. And then back through center. As you exhale, take a hold of blocks if you have them. Bring them to the side of either side of your right foot. And then slowly start to extend your leg any amount. You might even lift the blocks onto the highest height, flexing the toes towards your face, sending your right hip back, left hip forward. And then maybe you bend your knee deeply. Bring your blocks with you. Sink your hips here, but keep lifting up and out of your pelvis. You can use your arms and lift them here if you like. Or you keep them down on the blocks and use your finger pads to help you lengthen and extend. And then keep going here. Maybe you tuck the back toes under, extend the front leg any amount. So you can leave it here with your knee bent. You can bring your blocks back. You can lift up and out of your blocks. You can find kind of a cat and cow here. So making our practice our own and doing it from the bottom of our hearts, you know? So giving our whole hearts to this, making it meaningful to us, whatever that means for us and to us. And kind of moving away from the cerebral, moving away from the brain, controlling us to this feeling, this internal awareness coming from the heart. It's kind of beyond knowing, just feeling. Good. And then when you're ready, come back to this front knee bent. Maybe you tuck your back toes under and see what it would feel like to straighten your back leg. And now, how would it feel to lift your right hip up and back and extend your front leg? Maybe you drop your left heel a little more. Maybe you hover on your front heel as your back heel drops. Maybe you even turn the leg a little side to side. Good. Hold here, breathe here, round your upper back. And then when you're ready, place your front foot back down, bend your knee, and then step your foot so that it's at a 45-degree angle. Your feet are about hip width, let's say, like kind of like train tracks. And you're using your blocks here, and you're finding a nice long spine, nice tall spine. And then maybe coming up to standing. Check yourself here. See that both hip bones are facing forward. I know that I'm the headless yoga teacher right now, but that's okay. And then internally rotate your shoulders here and see if you can either take reverse fist, kind of knuckle to knuckle fist bump kind of thing, or reverse prayer here. And if you're taking reverse prayer, you're kind of using your pinkies to lift your sternum to guide your heart center forward and up. And then hinging at your hips, pressing firmly through the back foot. Hinge at the hips and find a flat back here. And pressing the hands firmly into your back and your back into your hands. Yeah, so this is pretty intense on the hamstring, so if you need to bend the front knee, that's okay. But try to press through the back foot even more, the outer edge of the back foot even more. Come down any amount. And then when you're ready, release your arms, bend your front knee, and then step your feet together here. And let your head and your neck hang. Grab opposite elbows. Or you can use your blocks here if you like. You can take the backs of the hands to the blocks. Or maybe, if you're open enough and you've done this before, you might want to try to take your hands under the soles of the feet. I try to do them at the same time for a little brain kind of energizer. And then bending the elbows, letting the head and the neck just go, let it go, release. Big breath into the side ribs, back ribs. Exhale, root deeper. Inhale, expanding beyond the body. Exhaling, grounding yourself, softening into the earth. And then releasing the hands here. Press into your feet, find the inner arches, bend your knees, and round yourself up to a standing position. Inhale, your arms up and over your head. Exhale, hinge at your hips, fold forward, let your head and your neck go. Find your flat back, halfway lift. Exhale to root the palms, step yourself back 1 foot at a time to a strong, firm plank position. And then bending at the elbows, lower yourself with control all the way down to your bellies. And when you get onto your belly, find yourself in a Sphinx pose. So the forearms are down, elbows are just beneath your shoulders, and you're going to extend the tailbone towards the heel again. So just look over your right shoulder and lift your right leg, extend it, place the hip and the top of the foot back on the mat. Notice how much longer this is now. And then look over your left shoulder, lift your left leg, find lots of length here. The hip bone, the pubic bone are heavy, tops of the feet are heavy. Good. And then you're going to feel like you're drawing yourself, that you could draw your heart forward through these kind of goalpost arms that we have here. The gates of your arms, and lift your heart. Lift it up, up, up. Keep lengthening your tailbone towards your heel. Good. And then press into your forearms. See if you can slowly start to lift your low ribs, round your upper spine, chin towards your chest. You might even lift your hip bones and press into your forearms. This is a tough one, I know. Hold and breathe here, and then slowly start to lower. If you've lifted your thighs, lowering the frontal hip bone, the pubic bone, the low rib, and then unwind here or peel open your chest. Open your heart. Feel like you could drag yourself across your floor. Good. And then look over your right shoulder. See if you can catch a glimpse of your heel. Your right heel or toes. Good. Go back through center. Press into the floor. Start to round your upper spine. Press into your forearms, your elbows. Maybe you lift your low ribs. Maybe you lift your pubic bone. Maybe you lift your hips. Round and hold. You should be shaking. And then slowly start to release. Frontal hip bones, low ribs. Peel the heart open again. Let it shine through. Breathe here. Find neutral, level at the chin, look over your left shoulder. Can you catch a glimpse of your toes? And then turn back through center. Last one, open your heart and then round. Press into your forearms, press into your elbows, lift your hips. Round, 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 hold and breathe. And then release all the way down here and come into crocodile pose. So just resting your forehead on your arms here or on your palms. Shake your hips a little side to side. And then from here, draw the fingertips out so that they're off your mat. Your elbow tips are up to the sky. Your finger pads are gripping the earth, and the tops of your feet are planted down like paperweights. And we'll start a slow roll up. So it's almost like someone's picking you up like a napkin. So picking you up, or like a tissue. Yeah, but from the back of the heart. From between the shoulder blades. Someone is picking you up from this place. This is where the lift is happening. And this is where the descent initiates. So just enjoying these serpentine movements. Feeling an opening through the front of the body and the back of the body. Last one. Stay here, hold and breathe. And then exhale, melt your heart down. Come to your left ear, extend your left arm. Tense your right fingertips and see if you can roll over onto your side, taking your right foot behind you. Keeping your left ear and shoulder on the mat. Your right arm can lift. It can internally rotate and maybe wrap around. Yeah, I feel like. Or you can keep it reaching overhead. Just find what works for you, or down on the ground, reach your fingertips away from you. And then whenever you're ready, slowly start to make your way back. So both arms are in like a T shape, and then turn to your your right ear. Tense your left fingertips, roll over onto your right hip. Your left foot comes behind you. And then decide what you'd like to do with your left hand. It can reach up and over, wrap around your right side waist, or reach to the top left corner of your mat. Lots of options. When you're ready, slowly unwind back through center. We'll take our hands halfway down the side ribs. Our forehead is down. We'll loop the shoulders forward, up and back. Here's our cobra, and we'll press ourselves back into a child's pose. And when we're ready, we'll get into downward dog, and we'll move through that sequence on the other side. So it might face the opposite direction. We shall see. So from your child's pose, take your time making your way into downward facing dog. I'm going to bring my blocks with me to the top of the mat, my blanket for my knees. I'll tuck my toes, lift my hips, downward facing dog. When you're ready, lift your left leg here, so keep your hips level. And then draw your knee in towards your nose, round your upper spine, come forward to a hanging plank. Extend the leg back behind you. Try that again. Draw your left knee as close towards your nose as you can. Shift your weight forward. Hanging plank. This time step the foot through. Come down onto the back knee here. You can walk the foot forward a bit here, using our blocks so that we can lift up and out of the pelvis. So we're getting a nice stretch for the psoas. And we're bending deeply through the left knee. We're lifting our heart here. And holding and breathing here. If we like, we can extend the arms as well. Anjaneyasana. Good. Whenever you're ready, you can slowly start to extend the left leg any amount. Maybe you're tucking the right toes under. Maybe you drag your blocks with you. They might even come up on a higher height. Yeah, and you work to draw your left thigh back, your right thigh forward, and feel whatever it is you feel behind and on the side of the left leg. You might even wiggle back and forth a little. And then we'll move between these two shapes. Yeah, just make it your own. Inhale, open the heart. Arms can come up, or they can stay on your blocks. Exhale, arms can come back behind you if you want to make this the movement without using blocks, or if you don't have blocks. Or you keep moving them as you move between these shapes. And maybe you find more of a heart opener here. And maybe you round your upper spine here. Taking these cat and cow-like movements. Matching your breath and your movement. And then eventually finding the front knee bent. Can you tuck your back toes and see what it would feel like to extend your back leg? Keep your hips heavy. Keep them level here. And then possibly sending your left hip back, your right thigh forward, grounding the right heel as much as you can, and then maybe you're even balancing on the left heel around your upper spine. Breathe here, right into the back of the leg. One more breath. And when you're ready, bend through the front knee, hop off the back foot, and see if you can take it into a shorter and wider stance. So your feet are about hips width apart, your heels are not crossed. The outer edge of your back foot is at 45 degrees like a warrior two. You can use your blocks here to help you find this flat back. And then even possibly coming all the way up to find your hand position. So it could be fist to fist. You could even grab opposite elbows, or if you had reverse prayer last time, you can take your reverse prayer here. Press through the outer edge of the back foot. Find your frontal hip bones facing forward, and then hinging at the hips, lifting through the heart, lengthening the spine. Sending your right thigh forward, your left thigh back. Uttanasana. Breathe here. Whenever you're ready, push into the back foot, push through the ball joint of the front foot to lift yourself up to standing. Inhale, arms overhead. You can exhale and forward fold and step your feet together here and just hang at the front of the mat. So either opposite elbows, or again, if you did like the backs of the hands here, as a stretch for the wrists. On the blocks, extending your arms, letting your head and your neck hang, maybe giving it a little shake. Your knees can be a little softer too. And breathing deeply in through the nose. Let it go out through the mouth. When you're ready, slowly coming all the way up to standing. We'll inhale, arms over our head. As we exhale, fold right through our center line of the body. Release your head and your neck. You can step back either to plank and do a vinyasa, or you go straight to your down dog. And we're all going to meet on our knees with our eyes closed here. We're going to use our blocks in a moment or two if you do have blocks or books. So just keep them kind of close by. And we're just going to sit here on our knees with our eyes closed before we move into our back bend, which will be Ustrasana or camel pose. We'll start with a little bit of a preparation. And if you know that you will use your blocks behind you instead of reaching for your heels, that's something that you can do. And always know that you don't have to reach for your heels. You can just keep your hands on your low back, or we're going to take them out in front of us just to start. And I might also recommend using a block to understand this sensation of hugging the thighs and the hip bones in and protecting the low back. Yeah, so you can even take one hand to the sacrum and one hand to the low belly, and just to feel these hip bones and the front ribs and hip bones drawing in towards each other, and the squeeze of the block. And I'm going to tuck my toes under. You can keep on the tops of your feet. You can have your blocks on either side of your heels if you wanted to. We're going to take our arms out in front of us, and then we're going to lean back. And then our arms will lift, and then we'll exhale, lean back, hugging everything in. Inhale, arms can lift, and then lean back. This time we'll inhale, arms will come out to the side, and then we'll hinge. Arms out to the side, and hinge. One more, arms out to the side. Hinge back with your arms still out there this time, and see if you can reach back for your heels or your blocks. And then send your hips and your chest forward, up and back. Hold and breathe here as long as is comfortable for you. Gently easing your way out whenever you're ready. Just feeling this exhilaration, this increased heart rate. And as you close your eyes and start to collect the breath here, just resting your hands on your knees, sitting on your shins. Breathe here. Start to go a little bit deeper beyond the surface here and just imagining how miraculous the human heart is. And just trying to feel your heartbeat. You can probably sense it. You can probably even hear it right now as we've just really kind of increased the pumping of the heart now. So your heart muscles beating and beating over 100,000 times a day. It's pumping gallons and gallons of blood. It's supplying oxygen, nutrients to your tissues. It's such a strong muscle. You should feel the rhythm of your heart and the rhythm of your breath. Just having great joy and feeling the beating of your own heart. And softening here. While we're sitting here, we'll do a loving kindness meditation. So our loving kindness meditation for today is going to be directed at 3 different people. First, it's going to be directed at ourselves. And we'll say to ourselves, may I live with ease. May I be happy. May I be free. Just under our breath or in our mind. May I live with ease. May I be happy. May I be free. And then we'll turn our awareness to someone that we have an unconditional love for, someone that we adore, maybe that we have a strong bond with or a strong feeling of love for. And we'll pass on this loving kindness meditation to them. May you live with ease. May you be happy. May you be free. Just let that sit. Send out these radiant blessings to someone you love. It doesn't have to be romantic love. And now we'll focus on someone neutral, someone in our lives like the person who delivers our mail, or the grocery store clerk, pharmacy attendant. Think of one of these people that you know but you don't really know, and you're going to send them this wish of loving kindness. May you live with ease. May you be happy. May you be free. Just sending this from the center of your being, radiating out. And now we turn our attention to the difficult one. The difficult person in our lives that causes us frustration or anger or causes us to react. Let's hold them in our hearts and in our minds. And with all the love we can muster, we say to them, may you live with ease. May you be happy. May you be free. Soften your heart, open it up. Find that compassion, that acceptance, that empathy. And send this out to all beings everywhere. May you live with ease. May you be happy. May you be free. Whenever you're ready, you can peacefully. Open your eyes. We're going to make our way down onto our backs for a few closing heart openers again. So if you can, just slowly making your way onto your back, finding a block, a bolster, a book. And we're going to start with our heels close up towards our seat. I'm just going to move into the center here. So our heels close to our seat, about the width of our frontal hip bones. And we're going to just start by sending our tailbone forward again. So kind of lifting the tailbone up off the mat and then pressing into our feet, finding our seat, finding our glute muscles, our hamstrings, and starting to lift so that we can slide the block or the book or the bolster just under our sacrum, and allowing ourselves to fall into this support fully. So just surrendering here and just feeling the heart being lifted. The hands can rest either on your hips, or they can rest palms turned up, or maybe even taking your arms over your head. Just let the heart melt and open. Feel the breath soft, smooth, moving freely, light as a feather. And you can even trace the breath through the body. And we're holding this here for 3 minutes. The length of time that it takes one droplet of blood to make its way from the heart through the circulatory system all the way back to the heart. So that's our 3-minute kind of reasoning behind the 3-minute hold. If at any time you wanted to, you can attempt to take one knee into your chest, maybe lift one leg, possibly circle the ankle, flex and point the toe. Yeah, maybe we stay here and just kind of shake the leg, or we see what it would feel like to take the other knee into the chest and extend the leg as well, point and flex, circle the ankle, give both legs a little shake, and then just allow them to be upright. And if you are near a wall, then you can just take legs up the wall. And you might want to just hold legs up the wall for a while. And just feel your tired legs, maybe your stagnant legs, whatever the case may be. If you've been standing too much, sitting too much, or lying down, this is helpful for any of these kind of habits. Whenever you're ready, your knees can come in towards your chest. The tops of the feet or the soles of the feet can come down onto the mat, and then you can just gently lift the hips so that you can lower and imprint the spine now on the mat, and just feel into this. From here, any kind of maybe hugging of the knees or a windshield wipering of the thighs, like a swooshing side to side. Maybe the head turns in the opposite direction. And from here, any other shape that might feel good for you. As I mentioned, hugging the knees into the chest, maybe making yourself small into a little ball and rocking along the length of the low back here, side to side, or the horizon of the low back. And then release the head and the neck, maybe a happy baby just before closing here. Maybe a one-legged happy baby, kind of side to side. Possibly soles of the feet can touch and find reclined cobbler's pose as you drop the outer edges and the knees towards the floor. Reclined Baddha Konasana. or extending your legs, just allowing the heels to roll out, the palms to turn up, and find your Shavasana. Press into the back of your head and the forearms to allow the shoulder blades to create a shelf for your heart to shine open here.